All right. Action, baby. That's right. What's going on, everybody? Blaze over here at the Blue Chip Athletic Club podcast. I'm stoked to have on repeat guest, 2T, Psycho T, Trevor Thomas. Dude, before I get started, I want to shout out our partners over at First Form. You guys know the stuff that we use all the time. Juice proteins. We're actually sending samples out. Don't be a weirdo. If you guys get any value from this podcast, please do shoot us a 5-star review wherever you listen, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, like. That's how we kind of grow organically. And we're not paying for ads to make that stuff happen. So we're trying to rely on you guys. But without further ado, Trevor, what is up, dude? I'm super excited to have you and catch back up.
Been a while. I'm happy to be here. I feel like I can't remember when we did the last one, but I feel like a lot has changed.
It was end of 24. I think it was in like October or November of last year. Now it's February the 6th of 2025. Tell me about the last couple months. What's been new? What's been happening?
It's so much, man. It's so funny because like October, I think August, just a big kind of blow up with social media happened, and it's really rocketed things to a different place.
Yeah, I don't know if you know guys, but Trevor's kind of a big deal now, dude. I don't actually even know if you can talk to me anymore, man. And you might be too big time for me.
It's weird. I mean, to be honest with you, like it's gotten to the point where I'll go out and I at least have one person come up to me now, like, hey, like I watch your stuff, and it's weird. Like I never know how to handle it. I don't feel like an influencer. Like I'm just a normal dude, but it's very odd. But it's been cool. Like it's been a very unique experience.
Dude, I've dug it, man. I've loved I will say selfishly, like I love watching you say be funny and clever and then make some good looking food and then, do your thing. It's been super fun. Like the production quality is fucking awesome. Like you've been really crushing it, man, for real. It's been super cool to see.
Yeah, I'm making do with my tiny ass kitchen and trying to get creative with
dude, dude, I'm telling you, you need to talk about that. So, okay. I have not visited very many people that I know from the online coaching space in this world. But Trevor is one of them that I found myself in San Diego, and I went down and stayed with him, actually. Thanks again for letting me do that. That was super fun. But I came down and hung out with Trevor, and I'm there hanging out with him and his dog, and we're in his like 1-1 apartment down there, and that like little kitchen that you have, dude. But you make it work, man. Like you don't need this like crazy fancy one space to anything for you to kind of make it happen. And like I said, the production quality of what you're doing and like all that stuff, it's been super, super good.
Yeah. I mean, I was told in PTBI, in our business group we were in, that you cannot just make content in your apartment. You got to get out. You got to do different things. And I was stubborn as hell. And I'm like, no, I'm going to make this work because I don't want to talk outside. So it's worked out. I mean, I'm constantly kind of fixing it up and making it better, but hopefully one day I can get a lot nicer place with a better kitchen. So we're working on that.
You don't need it, dude. You're making some good food either way. What else is happening, man? So the account's been blowing up a little bit. What else is going on?
Yeah, I mean, ever since August, like things have been going up. We're almost at 200,000 followers. I now have 2 coaches under me. I have a male and a female coach. We're working on developing a group coaching through Discord right now, which I'm pumping out. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of growth. It's a lot of me trying to learn how to be a boss. Like it's just figuring it all out as I go. And I think it's very stressful at times, but it's everything I've ever wanted. So I try to take the stress and go, you know what, this is exactly what you prayed for. So.
Yeah, you're like, bro, you got first world problems, dude. Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, tell me about that, because you've definitely, I want to say the last time we chatted, you had no extra help, and now you've got 2 extra coaches. How is that like search? And tell me a little bit about like that kind of process that you've had in taking this new kind of role.
Yeah, I mean, 2 coaches and a VA. The VA has been, helping with my just kind of administration tasks and, reaching out to people, things like that. But the 2 coaches are 2 San Diego coaches that I've just met along the way. They fit the mold really well. So we have a really good group of women coming up and a really good group of guys coming up. And then we also have a group chat of kind of everyone. So the community building has actually been crazy. We're over 60 clients at this point. And it's really cool to see this kind of camaraderie coming through. Like I built this group chat to be like, oh, it's just going to be like an easy way to get to everyone. But everyone is coming together. Everyone's feeling real involved and just a part of something, opposed to just like, hey, I got to go do my workout, do my nutrition, whatever. So I think that's the coolest thing, has been like just more people feeling involved, feeling a part of something. It's been great.
Yeah, dude. I feel like we've talked about it a million times. Like sidebars or with other people too. And anybody who's listened to this before probably knows, but like, we talk about what's the one thing that keeps you going back and continuing on your health goals. It's typically not how good your program is or how well you eat for a little bit or how well your meal plans are. And it's usually the community that you're around and the people that you're rallying around and kind of doing it with. Do you see any of that happening with the group of people that you have working with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild because this group chat just kind of goes like every day there's movement in it. And it's very funny how the veterans that have been around for a while, like they'll get to questions before me or any coach can. So that's all I've ever wanted, is this kind of teaching of others, like talking about their own experiences. And, it's this people that have made it, people that are just joining, is just the best kind of flow there. So it's been really cool. It's been really, beneficial to everyone, but I just love seeing the people change within it too. The people that were asking the questions are answering the questions. And it's very cool to see everyone just get that independence.
Yeah. What would you say has been biggest, we'll say, like learning point or challenge for you in kind of shifting into that stuff? Because like managing people is tough, bro. It's a tough thing to do when you're managing emotions and pride, ego, all those kind of things. Like how do you manage that from the business focal point, I guess, of what you got going on?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I mean, really, it's it's tough to let go. It's tough to be like, give someone the responsibility of your company and be like, hey, like, you're now my image. Like, I trust you to go do this. But it is tough when, I mean, I've been coaching for over a decade, to be like, hey, someone else is going to run with your name. Someone else is going to run with your thing, your baby that you built from the ground up. So I think just kind of letting go and trusting your coaches is, day by day, as they just crush it, I'm like more and more confident. But yeah, definitely that turnover of clients, giving other people the responsibility was tough for sure. But it's taking more off my plate, and I'm able to provide more. I'm able to make more content, things like that.
Yeah. What do you kind of see as like the future of the business? Kind of, are you going to continue to bring more people in? Are you feeling like 60-ish people is a lot? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Are you trying to continue to expand and build? Like what's the kind of the goal?
So we've designed it so each one of our assistant coaches can hold 30 to 40 clients each. So the goal right now is to really fill them up, give them a full plate. I'm probably going to cap at about 25-ish. But then also this group coaching, this Discord community, I think is going to be a huge expansion area, because we are going to be able to bring different kinds of coaches' experiences through there. So I think I talked about this before, but like really, I just wanted the lifestyle method, which is the company, to be this Swiss Army knife. Like we're going to have coaches in all different places, whatever you want. Extensive, training for those that want to go over and beyond. I'm trying to find somewhere to partner with that does like blood testing, things like that. But always making it applicable, always making it simple, and always making it so we're taking the brunt of the work. So I never want to overload my coaches. I will always hire before that happens. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's just load up the clients, get the community rolling, and see what we can do with even more people at a lower ticket too.
Yeah. What do you think has been kind of, because I see you've got a little lady lassie hanging around you now. How's that been? That's different. That's new since we ended up chatting last time, I think, too.
So that recently came to an end.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Now I feel like a jerk.
No, it's okay. But learning experience, I mean, I mean, that is what it is. But
Yeah, it's funny, man. You start figuring out like, what you want out of a business and out of being like a, boss or a CEO. And it's so funny, like you're the guy that's gonna have to, I guess in a online space is a little bit different. You're the guy that's gonna have to clean the bathroom, and also the guy that's gonna have to soak the review, the 1-star review for a mess up that you didn't necessarily do, but you're overall responsible for. So it's one of those things where like you probably get all the praise and you get all the shit too at the same time.
it's being a boss. I mean, I saw something the other day. It's like you'd rather be number two than number one. Number one, you got to be a psychopath. So it's just kind of rolling with the punches. I mean, every bit of my life, man, I'm just trying to learn. There's plenty of mistakes I'm making, but I'm trying to come back, come on top, be stronger, just be better every day. So
Yeah, what are you? I guess, dude, I feel like we like kind of jumped right in, and there's probably some people that will listen to this and have no idea who you are and our relationship at all, too. So give us a little bit of a Trevor origin story, like where you're from, what do you
yeah,
do? And we've already kind of touched on that a little bit, but then like give the people as much or as little background as you kind of want to give into kind of the person that you are.
yeah. I mean, I grew up always in some sort of gym. I started powerlifting at 13, and it was always my kind of thing I just did. It was never something I enjoyed. And then even when I, graduated high school, went to college for a year, dropped out, I was bartending for a while, and personal training, I never liked it. Like I remember sitting there just being like, this is miserable. I'm eating chicken, rice, and broccoli. I hate everything I'm doing. I'm training people. Yeah, they're losing a ton of weight, but then they leave and they come back with more weight than they had before. So I think through a couple years of that, I really went through and went, okay, what do I want? What do I enjoy? And what's going to actually keep these people going? And it took a while. It took a couple years for me to really boil it down and be like, okay, here's concrete. Here's what's going to work for sure. Here's the things that will help. Here's the things that'll help your day to day, but they're not essential. And what we've created over time is something that is going to become your lifestyle, something that, we get you the basics. We slowly integrate those things that really will upgrade your life, but making sure that we're happy, making sure that we all feel good. So I've been coaching for over a decade, and I feel like in the past couple years, it's really been my stride of like, hey, this is something I'm really confident in. This is something that I know anyone can come in here and see success and feel happy, look all cut up by summer, but then also have their fun on the weekends and still do what they want to do. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's ups and downs, man. It's me learning through every moment of this, and there's been lows, extreme highs, and man, I'm just trying to figure it out. So
Yeah, you're a California guy from what I know through and through. And do you ever see yourself leaving and like checking out something else or something new?
I think every Californian thinks about it, where they're like, "Oh my God, my dollar could go so much farther somewhere else, or I could." I think about it. It would have to make sense, but as of right now, I love San Diego. Like San Diego is great. Like I love hanging on the beach. I love scuba diving and things like that. So for now, I'm sitting here. I'm gonna I mean, we'll see what happens in the next couple of years, but I think I at least got a couple of years here. But who knows, man?
You never do know, dude. You never do know.
How's Sacramento, man?
Oh, dude, Sacramento's good. Today, actually, it's incredibly rainy and brutally windy. But no, it's not bad up here in Northern California right now. I don't know if I told you. It's pretty likely that we end up moving this summer, probably out to the East Coast, most likely the Florida and the Tampa Bay area. So that'll be a good change for us, kind of getting a little bit closer to some family. Having a beach close will be kind of nice. Something that's a little bit different for us too, because we'd have to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours down to the Bay Area, which for any of you who are familiar with the Bay Area, I'm sure that like for an East Coaster, that's not really a beach. Like the water's too cold and you're like in a sweater and jacket and you're like hanging out there and you're like, oh, this sucks. Whereas I'm used to like cracking beers and playing, volleyball on the beach and jumping in the water when you're really hot. So yeah, it's a little bit different experience, but I'm actually going through my aviation engineering syllabus right now for my Coast Guard work, which is a challenge doing that, running the business here and then trying to figure out, hey, what's our living situation going to be when we move down there? I don't know if you've seen any of our stuff, but we recently launched an app actually at the beginning of the year. This year, we launched our app and are now doing something similar where we're doing like a lower ticket coaching offer for people to where they can do any of our like on-demand kind of workout flows and sessions. And it gives them a bunch of other nutrition tools and other things that we can kind of give to people. That way, we're not just catering to the people that want a more customized one-on-one experience. We can kind of help a broader range of people. And we started creating programs. Like we're actually about to premiere one pretty soon. Maybe this is a little bit of a spoiler alert that a golf strength and mobility program made for people that are really looking to hit the ball further, swing with less pain, and then go on. And we're actually doing like a month free in the app to test it out. And then after that, it's just $20 for anybody who's looking to do it a month to kind of help you look, move, and feel your best. So that's something that we've been pouring a lot of time, effort, and energy into. And I'm really excited for. And I'm excited to continue to give people the one-on-one coaching attention that I think really leads to the true success. And then, have that kind of lower ticket offer on the back burner, just in case anybody is like, hey, this sounds interesting to me. Let me check it out. And worst case is you go on vacation, you got no equipment, you pop in our no equipment channel and you find something that you like and you kind of let it rip for 20, 30 minutes and you're kind of on your way. So that's kind of the vision for us and continuing on to make stuff happen.
That's great, dude. That's badass. I think the question I have for you, are we dunking or what?
No, dude. I've believe it or not, I actually started working with Brett Bainey myself. Yeah. So I have been, I will say, doing some mild amount of plyos over the course of the year. I'm not dunking at basketball yet. I have not, however, given up on the dream either. I think working some of my end range mobility is going to be something that's going to be really helpful to kind of get me there. So I'm kind of working on some nagging little things that have been bugging me. So I've got a little bit of shoulder stuff. Actually today I feel like I tweaked my hip a little bit. So I'm going to have to see how that feels tomorrow. And then, I had foot stuff that was going on about this time last year that I think I've mostly resolved to. So, all that to say, if anybody else is training actively, especially as you start to get older, I feel like you're always going to be battling some small amount of a nagging injury. And it's not necessarily going to be like, hey, you're operating at 100%, but what you can do is you can find ways to work around and do things still and still check the box, because the second you let the injury get the best of you and you kind of wallow there in your sorrow, I feel like you just lose all your motivation. You lose all of your sauce that you kind of got when you were working. And it's not always going to be like sunshine and rainbows. You got to know that it's gotta happen regardless. So, for example, if my hip's hurting me tomorrow and tomorrow's a training day, well, I'll do some upper body mobility, or even maybe just go straight bro sesh and hit another arm day, kind of like Psycho T over here, Yeah.
No, I mean, I always talk about that with clients. Injuries are part of the game. It's the blessing and the curse of getting into what we do. Is you're going to face it at some point, and depending on your caliber, it's going to happen more often than not, or whatever. But it's all learning experience. I think you're sharpening the knife when you go, okay, the hip hurts. How do we attack this? Okay, this, that, and the other. We strengthen around it, and then for next time, you know what to do, what not to do, and yeah, it's just more knowledge at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's funny, the biofeedback, right? We can go super nerdy for a second and be like, hey, if you have, let's say elbow pain or hip pain, like I have right now, I know for a fact that most of the time, the actual root cause is not in my hip. Like it's like, hey, what's the muscular imbalance? What did I work a little bit too much? What did I not mobilize enough? And you can start to see like, hey, maybe for my hips being tight, maybe my like glutes were tight, or maybe like I have like a weak section of my glutes to where they're not like strong enough and my hips are starting to like be pulled out of alignment. And that's what's really starting to adjust and create that friction. So just knowing like, hey, where's my pain sometimes isn't enough. It's about like, hey, what are the symptoms of that pain? Because if you can diagnose the symptoms, which is typically above or below the joint, then you're going to be able to really find out like, hey, what's going on? And that's why, people talk about physical therapy. They go to elbow pain and they're like, why are they making me do like curls and tricep like dips or extensions? And it's like, well, because your muscular imbalance is what's causing your pain and your friction. It's not your elbows messed up, So I think like if we can reframe that and like push that out, like it should be more common knowledge. But it's definitely something that, I think our field could do a better job of letting people know that and potentially saving them. And I'm not saying that I'm a physical therapist or PTA or anything like that that's licensed or certified to do any of that work. But if you can get somebody going in the right direction and be like, hey, if you do a protocol that is, working all three heads of the tricep, is this going to help your pain or not? And you can start to kind of see like, hey, if this starts to help, then we're on the right path and we can do these other things, which may save you $1,000 or something like that over at the PT.
Yeah. And my thing's always been this. Like if injured, there's the classic, like, are you hurt or injured? But I do think when you start straying away from the plan and you're like, I'm gonna be careful. If it's not something that is going to get affected by working out, you should be doing something, because it's the classic, like, hey, I hurt my hip, so I never squatted. It's like, no, you should still be doing some facet of squatting. It doesn't have to be heavy, but you should be strengthening around it. You should be, attacking the issue opposed to throwing a Band-Aid over a much larger issue.
Yeah. I definitely am interested too. Like, this is something that I've been considering a lot as I'm kind of aging. How has your programming for yourself and for your clients that you work with changed as you've gotten older and you've kind of changed your methodology, the way that you kind of attack somebody's health and wellness too, and then even your own?
Yeah, mine has always been. Mine changes very minutely. Like I'm a pretty basic guy when it comes to lifting. Like I'm not one to be doing anything too out of pocket crazy. I get towards like physique lifting and just I know what works with me, and it's usually just sticking around that. But with everyone else, I think the refining of using your energy correctly, I think, is something that I just made new programs for everyone where I was like, hey, I'm not going to give you a ton of lifts just to make you feel like you're doing a ton of things. I want to make it really concrete, like 4 to 5 lifts, put all your energy into that. And instead of putting in that fluff to make it look interesting, it's let's learn how to lift and make every set the most effective it can be, opposed to, I'm doing this because it's burning calories and I'm sweating a lot, where it's like, okay, but simplicity, I think, is what I drive even more towards, because it leaves room to be an expert at those simplistic things.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not sure if you do it, and you might, but I've kind of more gone towards the fact of like, I don't think I ever need to put 405 on a barbell and put it on my back anymore. No. Or pick it up off the ground in a deadlift pattern anymore. Like I think those days are long behind me. I think that there's ways that you can safely load the spine, safely like move load as well. Like there's nobody on planet Earth that I think is not going to like work hard in their, let's say their legs, for example, they're doing a leg day. Like you could barbell back squat 405, or you could grab like 70-pound dumbbells and do like Bulgarian split squats and like crush your legs and like do them really slow and controlled and like make it super, super hard. And it's like, I think that there's a safe substitute for a lot of movement patterns that I think as you age, it's like, it's probably not smart for you to do because you have things to lose. Like I personally, like I can't afford to be out of the game for that long. I don't want to be out of the game that long. I don't want to PR lifts anymore. I'm not trying to do any of those things personally. And like, if you are, and that's your bag and that's what makes you happy, like, please do. If you're the 60-year-old dude who's finding a new PR at a bench squat or a deadlift, like, dude, more power to you. Like, I will not be doing what you're doing, so keep it up. But I think for the vast majority of people, like, that's not really what you're training for. If you want to look moving for your best, it can be a lot simpler. Simple hinge pattern, simple pull, simple push, and you can really, really make a lot of that progress. And you don't need to do it every single day, dude. Like, I probably put myself in a bracket of like, I'm doing some sort of movement every day, which sometimes maybe I even go a little bit too hard. So needless to say, why my hip is a little bit barking at me today. But I mean, if you prescribe somebody like 3-4 workouts a week, like, what do you guys do, for example?
I mean, it's custom person to person. 3 to 5 is usually.
Yeah, the average 3 to 5, right? You don't have to do something every single day, right?
And I tell everyone, I'm like, I could give two shit about my numbers, your numbers. Like, it does not matter. It matters if you get to those last couple reps and you're like, holy shit, that was really hard. Like, if that is kind of what you're getting out of it, it doesn't matter what you're holding in each hand. It doesn't matter what's on the bar. It matters of, did you push yourself to that limit? Did I do this correctly? And yeah, I mean, it's funny how, like, today I'm lifting and I'm like thinking about, I was oddly enough thinking about kind of past lifts and things like that. I will not deadlift anymore. I just don't care. Back squat, I mean, hey, by the way, I'm back squatting, but I'm not throwing crazy shit on there. I'm doing what I can so I can engage and I can get the most, I can get my stretch, I can get my squeeze. And if that's all coming together and I hit 10 reps and I'm like, holy shit, I barely got that 10th rep, but that's all I could ever care about. So a lot of my clients now, it's like, hey, we have a rep range. It's like, I'll put 10 reps on there, but I'm like, if you're getting 8, if you're getting 12, it doesn't matter. Push yourself to that area and make sure that mentally you're like hitting that break.
Yeah, which is, I think, something that you kind of like glossed over. I think it might be the most important point of what you said is like, what is the mental points where you feel like you put that effort into the set or into the movement or into whatever you're doing, right? Like, hey, if your mental point you decide before you even pick the weight up is going to be 10 reps, but you get the weight going and you're like, holy shit, I could have done that 20 times. Like, let's make an adjustment, right? And I think that there's a lot of times where people will just go over, let's say you have somebody doing a bench press and every single time they go to the bench press, they always put on no bar and then they do 25 and then they put, 135 on and then they do like the same exact thing every single day. And it's like, are you really testing that mental breaking point and really starting to like push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone? And it isn't necessarily meaning like, hey, throw on the most weight that you could ever do in PR every day or like need a spotter every single time that you go out there and do it. But figuring out what your new norm is and testing and retesting and having some data, I think is just so critical, like to you continually making those results and seeing the things start to really change along the way.
I always talk about it. Like, dip a toe. They, in the app with Trainer Eyes, like, they know exactly what they did last time. It was like, if you hit 10, that felt confident, dip a toe 5-10 pounds heavier. If you get 6 reps, whatever. If you keep dipping that toe, you keep pushing that line, it's going to become that 10 rep. That's the key to progressive overload. That's the, I talk a lot too about, if you're not worried about the number of your reps, you're focused more on your mental and how you're affecting the lift. That is going to take you so much farther than, hey, I got 10 reps. It's like, who gives a shit? Let's work on, did I work hard?
Yeah. I think like we boiled it down to the kind of like a green, yellow, and red analogy. It's like, let's say you're somebody who's never trained before a single day and you're like, oh, I kind of want to get into this. Like, what is your green zone? What is a green movement for you? A green movement would potentially be like a walk. Like, hey, I'm going to go walk today. And you're like, sweet, I'm very confident that I can do that. I feel good about doing that. That's something that I know that I can do. And it's something I've been doing since I was, a baby, right? Yellow movement. That's going to be like a jog, a slow jog. Maybe that's something that you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how far I could go. I don't know how fast I could go. I think that I could do it. But like, where's your comfort level? So you're kind of dipping your toe into that little range of discomfort. And then red would be like you're going up and you're doing hill sprints and you're somebody who's never trained before. And you're like, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that. There's no way I'm going to do that movement pattern. So I think that the goal for no matter where you are on that continuum of things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be walking, jogging, and hill sprints. It can be whatever kind of facet you want to say. But like, if you can move like one tier to the side slowly over time, right? So like maybe it's at first, it's the jog is a little scary. You're like, okay, maybe I'm just going to jog for a minute on my walk. And then you dip your toe in, just like you said, you're dipping your toe in for that 1 minute. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to do that for a week. I'm going to do that for 2 weeks. Then you got 2 minutes, and then you got 3 minutes. And then before you know it, your walk became a walk jog. And then it became a jog with a couple walks. And then it becomes a jog. And then your jog that was then in the yellow range is now the green range. Now you feel real good about that. And then you're like, oh, maybe I can now push this now into hill sprints, which are then that's phase 2, which become then the yellow. So it's like, hey, how do you boil this down into something that's super simple? And you can start to kind of move that envelope a little bit. And it doesn't take a Herculean effort. It can be, someone literally going we'll call couch to 5K, which don't steal that name, but that's a program we're going to be writing here pretty soon to where we get people off the couch and being able to run a 5K.
It's a good one, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
So my mission is by August, we have High Rocks coming around. And me, that is not me. That's what I used to be back 10 years ago, but that's my mission, man. So you might be getting a couple texts from me being like,
you put it out there, dude. I'm going to do Miami in April. I'm going to go do. So I'll be doing Miami Vice, Miami Blaze for April High Rocks. We've actually got 3 of our clients that are going to be running it with us or with me. We're doing, me and one client are doing partners, and then the other 2 guys are doing singles. So it should be super fun for us to get down there and tear it up in Miami for High Rocks in April.
It's such a social media trap too, because I see it's kind of like snowboarding. Like I just bought a snowboard because I see videos online. And I'm like, God, I just want to be one of them. So it's like I see all the High Rocks people, and I'm like, I miss the competition. I itch because I'm like, I need some adversity in my life. So it's gonna suck, but I am very excited. So,
did you sign up already?
No, not yet. I will. Right now. I'm trying to find a gym where I can actually like train that kind of stuff at, which is 1,000 to pick from. But I'm purposely telling as many people as I can, so I can start doing it.
Yeah, holding you accountable. I dig it. Yeah, dude, I did it. Like I said, I did it last year down your way in Anaheim. Damn, dude, it's super tough. I will say your time to beat is 1 hour and 21 minutes for the record. If you're doing solo, hour 21 minutes, that was my time. But you'll see that my biggest advice for you, not that you asked, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, is it's a running race, bro. Like you'll get wrapped around the stations because that's like the glamour of the thing is like, oh, you got to 100 wall balls and this and that, and you got to do all these things. But no. The people that are good at High Rocks, the people that are like really, really fast and they do it quickly, are the people that are built like a 400 or 800 meter sprinter or track athlete. And they're like kind of like 180 pounds. They can still kind of move weight, but really they're running like a 5 to 6 minute mile pace the whole time around the outside of the track, which is like blistering fast after you just finished 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, which for your average person is probably about 80 burpees. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I keep having people like boil it down for me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a lot. But
yeah, dude,
I'm gonna start shedding. I'm midst of bulking right now. I just hit 220. I might go up to 225. I don't know, but I think running, because whenever I start cutting, I start running again. I think that'll help. But dude, I got to get those shoes on and get out there.
Dude.
That's the bane of my existence.
What's your green, yellow, and red now, dude? We can start to apply now. We can do a live session right here. We can talk through it.
No. My green is walking.
Yeah, hell yeah. We'll take that to the bank.
I'm a step monster when I want to be, dude. I'll hit 15,000 steps a day in the summertime. Like me and my dog are just crushing it around town. But yellow, I mean, that's, I guess you can say running. I mean, I can run, I can do it, but my pacing is not great. Like I can be better at it. And then I guess my red would be more fucking burpees. Like I hate it. So,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
brutal.
it all comes down to pacing. I feel like everything is pacing for me because I get in my head, see a bunch of people take off, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get to the front. That's the worst thing I do, and it's total
Yeah,
ego, but I gotta shed that.
dude, it's so funny. Like when I ran that race, I told myself when I started, I was like, my game today is just going to be a heart rate game. So I ran, and people tell me, oh, your watch is not that good of a heart rate monitor. I am aware of that. I know that it's kind of messed up, but I wanted to be right around the 140 beats per minute range for my, age demographic and ability level. I think that's what I wanted to kind of keep. So I'm running around and I'm doing this thing, and I basically would check like a couple of times throughout the lap. Once I finished a station or was in a station, I would check. And really it was like, how can I consistently keep this burn going? Because at the end of the day, like that is the part that's tough, is like you want to come out hella hot. And then you get to that ski erg and you want to like rip it, and you're like feeling super good. And then like the movement patterns, it just continues and continues and continues. And you realize like, holy shit, like I just finished 80 burpee broad jumps. If you're going to go and start running around the track like you did on the first lap, you're going to be cooking yourself. So I like found like, hey, if I can do this slow burn, this is the way that I'll do it. And I had done enough like half high rock style workouts and like practice events that I was like, I should be able to beat an hour and a half was my kind of goal. And the energy in there, dude, it's great, man. Like the people watching, the people cheering for you when you're like at the wall balls and your legs just want to fall off, but you just kind of like crush it. Like there's a guy next to me. He'll never know that I'm talking about him too. So I'm not going to apologize to him, but I get up to the wall ball station. He's already through like 15 or 20 of them. And I was like, I'm going to beat this guy. And I like got a ball and I like just went bam, 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 bam. And I like hand jammed through it. And I finished my 100th one, and he hit his like 85th or 90th wall ball. And then I like ran up onto the stage and I like collapsed on the ground because I was just so cooked. But yeah, man, it's tough.
I love that. I mean, that's exactly why I'm doing this, is like, I miss that feeling where you're like, this motherfucker is going to be like,
Yeah.
like, that's that step up moment. And it's funny. That's actually a big technique for me, like with everything. I think so many people, it takes a certain kind of confidence in yourself first, but having that it's almost like self-manufactured adversity. Like there's something about sitting in the gym, having your headphones on, and being like, he's not going to outlift me right now. Like just making things up that I think pushes you. And I think it's a slippery slope with like, okay, don't be going too crazy.
Don't be Michael Jordan when it like just totally. But you know what? He's not Michael Jordan if he's not doing that. Like there's like a part of it that's like, hey, this is what makes people like that. And I'm in no way comparing myself or you to Michael Jordan in any way. But knowing that you like there is sometimes I'll say like a piece where like the dark energy is good. Like the dark energy can like push you to be like, you know what, like I am going to just get it today. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting it today. And like, you could do it out of like, I'm not saying and recommending this for anybody. I think like self-love and everything is like the way to continued success. But if you just went through a bad breakup and you're like, it's time for me to get vengeful, shredded, and just like into it. And that's what gets you into the gym, and you ride that energy for a little bit and you like work out some of your stuff and then can kind of shift the narrative after that. Like it sometimes can be really helpful,
Matthew McConaughey and God, I forget the other guy's name, talked about it on a podcast. He's like, darkness gets shit done. Like it's not a great thing in the long term, but if you need to get through a thing, you need to get something done, and it's something you can tap into responsibly, it's gonna get shit done. So something to keep in mind, but also, yeah, you got to have the happiness and love in your life too. You can't be living on that.
Yeah, just like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. Can't let it get too strong over there.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Dude, so what's next? What's besides High Rocks training for, you said the summertime over there?
Yeah.
What else is kind of on the docket? You have any big projects coming up besides the Discord group? Like what is the next phase for, and excuse me, you said Lifestyle? Was Lifestyle the name of the company now? Give yourself a shout out, dude. Pat, give some context. Who do you
Yeah.
guys help? Uh what's your like ideal person? Someone listens to this and they're like, "Hey man, like I kind of like the things that Trevor was saying. He's describing who I am. How can they kind of get a hold of you guys? Like do the whole spiel from cradle to grave of like who you guys are and who you help."
Yeah. I mean, we are the lifestyle method. I think one of the biggest things we're going to be working on is branding because I haven't really put that out there so much. I want to get another Instagram page going with purely just content for clientele. But it is branding. I want to really stamp what it is and really stamp and make things clear of like from everything from logo to coloring to how we look as a unit, the lifestyle method, which is we want you to feel like this is integrated. We don't want this to feel like it's working against you. We want to make it work for you. It takes a system of getting involved. It takes a system of changing things. But instead of me taking on a client and saying, hey, let's turn your whole life on its head, let's tweak knobs. Let's gradually kind of get this. Let's make this attainable. Let's make this feel good out of the gate. So anyone that comes in, no matter where they're at, we're just going to keep tweaking knobs week to week. Be like, all right, let's change this up. Let's do this. Let's do more of this. I always tell them, if you completely mess up your week or if you completely mess up a day, fantastic. We get to sit down and go, hey, you were one or two decisions or one or two changes away from being on par to where you are. So what it does is it just makes you feel like you are close to where you got to be because you usually are. But really, yeah, I mean, we want to expand. I want to take, 2025 to the limit of what can I possibly build this into. But kind of leaving open door, I personally, I'm in a weird content world now where it's like I do have like kind of sponsorship opportunities. I mean, you see my dude wipes up there in my videos, or it's like that's another area I really want to dip into. I want to do more podcasts. I want to reach out to a community as much as I can, but also, leave the door open. Whoever's going to show up, whether it's a brand opportunity, whether it's a client, I want to take it in and be like, hey, what's up? It's here. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going, but I know it's up.
Yeah, nice, man. And the type of people that you're helping, what is your, we'll say like target demographic? I'm a XYZ person who's looking to do XYZ. What's your kind of elevator pitch for those people that you're trying to help?
Yeah, so we've built out us three coaches that, really can get anyone in the area of, hey, I haven't worked out before. I need kind of a launch pad here, or I have been experienced in the past and I couldn't keep up with it. We get a lot of people that are like, hey, I lost 30, 40 pounds at one point. I lost 20 pounds at one point, but now I'm back and I'm worse. So we want to take an approach with them that's a little bit different, something that's sustainable, and just kind of bring them into this new methodology and people that really do need that spark again. We have people that are, 350 pounds trying to shed that weight, get down to a healthy point. We also have, people that are like, hey, I want to put on 20 pounds of muscle. My assistant coach, Riley, he's working with a bunch of guys right now that are in that boat. He's killing it with them. So we are a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. I'm going to leave the athletic side to you. So that is definitely your area, but we are aesthetic. We are looking good. We are feeling good. And we want to keep it as simple and as attainable as possible.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys are just trying to help people that have, yo-yoed in the past or had kind of issues with consistency to be more consistent and kind of continue to show up and look their best. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we want to give them a new lease on it all. I think so many people have been discouraged from fitness, from health. They have done it, it's been miserable, or they've tried XYZ diet and they just absolutely hated it. It turned them off from even doing this. So we want to give them a first step. say, hey, come on over. It's fine over here. You're going to enjoy this, and just bring them in. And we've watched people go from, hey, I just want to get in the gym 3 times a week to I'm down 40 pounds, up 10 pounds of muscle. I feel great. What more can I do? What more can I add? So it's exciting to watch people evolve. It's inspiring for myself.
Yeah. Have you decided if you're going to make your stuff into some cookbooks and like create a, dude, I feel like if you haven't done that yet, you definitely need to go through all of your stuff and be like, hey, make this into whatever and create that, or maybe outfit or pay somebody else to do it based on going through all your stuff. But I feel like that would be a really effective use of your time, you know?
Yeah, it's in the works. It's one of my 5 projects right now, but I mean, I'm trying to at least get just like data into one place right now. Just take all the recipes, dump it into one place. But yeah, I mean, it's something that people are looking for. So I think I got to make it happen sometime soon.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna rain on your parade, but we've got one already, dude. If you need some more inspo, you let us know, man.
Hey, give me the cookbook. I'll fucking plug it.
Yeah, dude, I will. I'll do that. No, you've done a great job at like marketing it, man. Like I said, it's entertaining to pop on there and watch. And even my wife Chelsea, she's been like, Trevor's funny, dude. He's doing the thing. He's making me laugh and keeping people engaged, you know, and like being like, hey, you're subtly plugging your stuff and helping people kind of like pop in there. And I'm sure that that's helped lead generation and obviously the growth of the business to where like you're like, hey, I can't even handle this right now. And it's super cool to see, man. I'm stoked to continue to watch you progress and succeed.
Happy to be here, man. Like, it's been a fucking crazy ride, but it's working, and it feels good to hit a place where it's like, damn, things are actually falling together, and yeah, just makes you look back and go, it was all worth it. So good stuff.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about that before we pop off. Like, hey, you know, you've been doing this health thing for a while, online coaching for a bit, and you're like, hey, I feel like I'm doing all this, and maybe you're speaking directly to somebody who's you circa X amount of years ago. Maybe like feel like you're putting out a bunch of work, you're hopping on podcasts or having your own, and you're not getting a ton of traction, you're not getting a ton of viewership, which typically does, you know, although it's not all about the views, the clicks, the likes, or anything like that. In an online coaching world, that stuff typically does lead to more opportunities to make more money, affect more lives, help more people, all those things. So tell me about like what's some advice that you have for those people that are trying to bring themselves up to this sort of level, and what would you do? What would you say to them if they're kind of struggling and like, you know, on the verge of giving it up, or just being like, dude, what's the use? You know, because there's a bazillion people out there that you know, are doing this same thing.
Yeah, I mean, to give some background too, I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, I was going through a breakup. I moved into this apartment that I could not afford. I was spending more money on my dog and his food than my food. I was literally eating nothing but frozen chicken, beans, and rice because it's all I could afford. And I will say the anxiety of that pushed me to do my coaching as hard as I could, do content outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I got laid off from my bartending job post-COVID. It was all I could do. So day in and day out, I was trying things, and I would fall off, and I would make videos for a week, and then I wouldn't do it. And then I found some consistency. And I think once I found that consistency, once I kept trying, once I saw those spikes of certain things working, going, okay, what happened there? And studying my own content and looking at it like, hey, would I watch this content? It progressively grew. And it took years, man. Like, I've been making videos for a while. You can go back to my stuff. It was terrible before. But
mine are too, dude. Mine actually still sometimes are. So
yeah. But it's part of the game. It's like, I try to tell everyone, I'm like, you got to test shit out. You got to try this. You got to do, you know, different things, but you also got to be the version of yourself. Too many people are doing what everyone's doing. Too many people are into these hyper edited, like, here's top 3 facts. Blah, blah. It's like, it's all been done. How are you different? How are you going to set it apart? And it could be as stupid as dropping a couple F-bombs and throwing shit at the camera. But if you can differentiate yourself, be authentic. Authenticity is winning over any sort of editing these days. You're going to be successful at some point. And I wasn't successful until last August. Like I've been doing this for forever, for 4 or 5 years making videos, but it kicks at some point, and then ride that wave. Constantly look at, why did this do better? Why did this do bad? And learn. Just don't give up. It's so overly said, but keep making videos. Something's going to hit it somehow. So it's a time.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, I think early on, one of my business coaches, that's not Zach, actually, Jeremy, I'll shout him out, Jeremy Scott Fitness down in Scottsdale. Awesome dude, who I would say arguably like the greatest, gym person, like one of the guys that's like OG style, that's going to retire probably from the business, as a coach and business owner. And then he's even delved into the online coaching stuff a ton, affiliate marketing, all that stuff. And this guy basically said, like, could you imagine, like, if you were sitting in your home and 100 people like watched you, or like liked, like thumbs up, or like cheered for you when you did something? Like, could you like just take a second, like step back and like think about that? Like, I tell you what, today I was actually telling my wife today that we had a video today get like 20,000 views, which is a lot for me, dude. It honestly, like, arguably and it's the dumbest thing that I've ever done. I was trying to do a mobility challenge, and I like record myself just being a fucking clown in my garage doing this thing. And like, it somehow, for some reason, somebody thought it was funny. And you know what? Like, I'm imagining, like, if 20,000 people, dude, have I even met 20,000 people? Like, I don't think so at all. So like, even if your video gets like 5 views, could you imagine if 5 people were in your house just staring at you while you made dinner or get ready with me or whatever you decide to do? Like, dude, that is like, it's crazy. And I feel like it's something that's not addressed enough, is like, conceptualize what that number looks like, and don't compare yourself to you or to, Nick Bear or whoever your like person is that's like this persona, because at the end of the day, also, they're just a normal person. Like, even the actors you see on TV, the people that are movie stars, whatever they are, like, they are normal people. And most of them probably would rather not have all the eyeballs on them, because it makes things like shitty. Like, you know what? I don't want millions of people to know who I am, because I want to be able to go to the store and not get like mauled by a bunch of people and cameras in my face. And I'm totally cool with that. And I think, think about like both ends of the spectrum. Careful what you wish for. But I totally agree with like your authenticity is like just being yourself and just not being afraid to just be a clown if you're a clown, or if you're the serious person who's like a diehard coach who just loves getting super technical and all that stuff. Like, share that with other people, because you'll attract what you're kind of putting out, I think.
It's authenticity is the trend, and I love it. I think that's why I kind of, not to toot my own horn, but like why I blew up when I did was I was truly just being a slightly over exaggerated version of myself. Like, you know me, I just curse like an idiot. I say stupid shit, but it's like, I feel like people just, and same with your mobility challenge. I'm sure you were just being yourself. I'm sure you were just doing, whatever the hell you were doing. And I think more people just got to gravitate towards that. Social media is old now. We are past like, hey, this is a TV show. There's too much of that. We want to see someone that I go, hey, I'm kind of like that. Or, that's funny, and because it's kind of like me. That's what's going to end up working at the end of the day. So just finding out how to be comfortable on camera, I think, for people is huge too. And just being like, hey, how do I be myself on camera? And the only way you get good at that is making hundreds of shitty videos. Like, that's just the only way to do it. So get in, do the damn thing. If you're listening to this and you're like, my shit's not working, well, keep making videos, because if nothing else is getting better, you're getting more confident. That's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep it much longer than the about an hour that I kind of promised, but for you guys, you want to, I'm going to drop Trevor's Instagram handle. You'll be able to find him because he's going to be the guy with the would you say almost 200,000 people watching your shit? Congratulations, dude. I don't know if I've seen you since that official blow up has occurred, but congrats on that. And it's super exciting to watch. And again, I'll drop all your stuff in there, coaching links, anything that you want, just shoot it over to me and I'll pop it in. And for any of you guys else, any of you other people that are listening, thank you guys for tuning in. If you stuck with us this long, hit me up if you want a free month in our training app, $20 a month after that point. It's going to be super, super great to continue to add workouts in there all the time. Programs, we got golf program. We got a busy athletic parent program that we're about to premiere as well. A hybrid athlete one that you may want to dip your toe into if you're looking to get into this High Rocks race. Maybe I'll send over the wave tops to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, for anybody else that's looking to get in there, let us know. And like I said, don't be lazy ass. Drop us a 5-star review if you can. We really appreciate it. It helps us grow. Till next time, Trevor. Thanks a lot, man.
Peace.
Peace out. Oh, wait. And you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. We love that. Boom.